Today, birthday cake. My neighbor that lives across the street was my mother's first cousin. Her dad was my Uncle Gerald, which was my grandmother's brother. I guess they call that a great uncle or whatever. We just called him Uncle Gerald. He was kind of one of the last of the real cowboys. Lived out in West Texas, lived a life as a cowboy. Ranch farming, you name it, he did it. So his daughter, Mimi Hale, as everybody calls her, she lives across the street from us, and she looks a lot like my mother. And anyway, her birthday's coming up, and I decided I was going to make her a birthday cake. So, and I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work. I've got some, it's a devil's food cake with milk chocolate frosting, my favorite. I've got some frosting made up extra thick to try to pipe to do some prettying up on the cake, you know, take my piping back. I haven't done it in a long time. And I'm going to try, I'll show you good or bad or whatever, what it comes up with. I'm going to try to make some roses out of buttercream. That's really a hard thing to do anyway. And especially now, I used to make them, I could do it in my sleep. I make hundreds of them. I'd make them and put them in the freezer on some wax paper, get ready to do the cake, decorate, and then slip them off on top of the cake. They were pretty good for an old dude that never had a lesson on how to do it, just self-taught. So I went to one class and I felt so I'm always thinking outside the box, but buddy, I was outside of the box. I walked in, there was a couple of young boys, they looked like great-grandchildren. You know, they looked 18, 19 years old. They were 20. They were a happy little couple, learning to bake together. I had a hard time dealing with that. I mean, it's okay, but it just wasn't, that ain't my deal. And there was a couple of other ladies in there, and they were saying, "Are you here to pick up your wife?" No, I'm here to take the class. I've been baking cakes for years. I just like to know the basics. So I took one evening, 2 hours, and never went back. Left my $25 with the teacher, called her and said, "Hey, this today ain't for me. Enjoy the money." I did finish the class. I would do it here at the house and send her pictures. And the first thing she said was, "You don't need to be in the basic course. You need to be in the whatever the next class was," because I already had that mastered without going to school. But so once again, I'm going to try to make some roses. I'm going to try to pop some roses. And both of these hands, this ring finger is numb. I mean, I feel the pressure, but I can't feel any touch on it. The little finger is numb all the way up into here. Same as here. So can I get it done? I don't know. I'll show you the good and the bad and the ugly. If they're too ugly, well, they ain't going on the cake, but I'll show them to you anyway. So I've got the cake rounds baking. I'll pull them out, let them cool down, and catch y'all on the next part of this video. I'm not sure if it'll be later this afternoon after they cool down. I'm not sure. It depends on what I feel like making. Try to make these roses. It just depends on when I feel like trying to get my hands on the piping bag and making a rose and making a fool out of myself. I'm probably. So anyway, I'll bring you back. Stay tuned for the funny part. All right, back with you. The cakes, the 2 rounds, and these are 8" by 2". These are Wilton pans, actually. I bought at a garage sale. They're out of the oven. They took about, I set it for 28. I checked them at 22. They look ready. I felt of them. They're good. Tried it, put a toothpick in it, came out clean. So they're going to go on a cooling rack, and this is a devil's food. If you want the recipe, it's just a standard devil's food recipe. I didn't show you mixing. It's just cocoa and flour and sugar. If you want that recipe, just say, hey, I'd like the recipe, and I will, when you ask that question, I'll put it in the response. It is a little different. You can see the liquid I was adding to it. My recipe calls for water and oil, vegetable oil. But, and I don't even know where I got the recipe, but I had it for a long time. I switched the water out for buttermilk. Yeah, that's why you've seen the buttermilk in there. And also buttermilk and coffee together. The coffee and chocolate go really good together. It doesn't make this cake taste like coffee, but it has a hint of coffee to it, which is really good. And I use a milk chocolate frosting, and I'll give you the recipe on that if you need that. Just ask for it, and it's a buttercream. It's real easy to make. So let me get these on the racks, let them cool. That way I can come back in a little bit and get them out and get them cooling down. I'll put them in the fridge. I may put them in the freezer, put wax paper in between or parchment paper in between and cover them with plastic and put them in the freezer. I really like decorating them decorating. I never use that. I like prettying them up. I like to do the prettying up when they're frozen. Anyway, I'm not sure. I got to see if I can make some roses. If not, I'm just going to decorate it old-fashioned style. So let's get these on the cooling rack, see what we've got here. It's 28 minutes and I've got them out and fixing to go and invert them and go on the racks. Let me turn this squawky off. How do you know if they're going to cool enough to come out of the pan? That's pretty simple. You can run a spatula around. I can see this is kind of jiggling. I like to get them out of the pan as quick as possible. That way they don't cool down and stick. So let me get the cooling rack over here. I'll show you how I do it. I grabbed 2 of them when I was over there. I don't need 2. I need 1. It's a pretty simple way. If you got tough fingers, you don't mind burning your fingertips a little bit. I think I heard it release. Wah, 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 wah. How's that? And yes, she's hot, as you can tell. She's smoking hot. All right, we're gonna let this cool down. And yes, I can make the end sounds. I'm part Comanche, so little known fact. Yeah. There you go. And it's not done. Don't make that sound to nothing but just having fun. Not at any one particular person or tribe or anything like that. I can have fun with myself. So, all right. Well, we're gonna let them cool down and get them wrapped up and either put them in the fridge or the freezer later this afternoon until they cool totally. And They smell good. I don't know if I told you about what went in them. I think I said it was buttermilk. I think the recipe calls for half a cup of buttermilk, or half a cup of water, and a cup of quarter, 1 cup, we'll get it right, 1 cup of water and a half a cup of oil. So I do the half cup of oil, but instead of using water, I use buttermilk and coffee mixed together. And I think I said that. If I'm saying it again, I'm just old. What can I say? Catch y'all back later when we start back up the decorating. I'm back with you. It's been about 3 hours. The cakes have cooled down. The cake layers have cooled down. I need to trim the tops of both of them, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. Something if you want the top of your cake to be flat so you can ice it or frost it, that's what you need to do. So let me get the camera up here and show you how I do it. I got this long knife that was my mother's. I don't know what brand it is or anything about it. It's just a bread knife. And you can see there's a little bit of a rise to it. It's hard to see, but I just want to flatten it out just a little bit. So when I put the layers on top of each other, they will sit up there kind of flat. So it gets trimmed just a little. You can see not paper thin, like a tortilla. Well, if I guess if that's throw this way. Well, no, not really. That's a snack. Let's see if it can get a little bit more trimmed here. All right, let me get the other one done. Get it up here. Here's the next one. You can see them. If you can see that or not, it's just a little bit of a rise, a little bit of a bulge where it baked. They bake really good. You lose a little bit of the cake, but it looks cooler when you frost it if they're kind of flat. Plus it gives you a chance to, here's another tortilla, chocolate tortilla. Gives you a chance to taste your cake to see what it's going to taste like. All right, let's get these layers on this plate. So this right here is going to go down. You can either put it down or you can put this, the two uneven layers together. I always put mine down like this though. So I'm going to take my plate and put it over on top of it and invert it back onto the, like that. Make sure it's kind of centered. It's going to stick to the plate in a little bit. And I've got some frosting here that I've worked. It's a little bit stiffer than, let me show you here. You can see I've got this frosting. You can see it. It's pretty thick buttercream. I made it so that it would try to make some roses out of it. It may be too thick to put on for as a skim coat, as I like to call it. Let me work it just a little bit, see if it'll get a little loose. If not, where did I learn to do this? Well, I painted several cars in my life, and it's just like painting a car using Mondo primer, filler, it's all the same. Alright, let's get the scratch coat on these. That'll stick the two together. Put that on there. It's been a long time since I baked a few cakes since, had my heart of it, but they've always been just a single layer. Just a single layer rectangle. It doesn't take a lot. You can see this is nice and thick. It'll make a great glue to hold these together. I used to do these things in my sleep when I sold them. I always got a kick out of people saying, well, does your wife make your cakes? Or the old dude makes the cakes. I said this is not the same frosting that I'm going to use on the outside. That's going to use it to glue the two layers together. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little sweeter. Get my other layer and put it down like this. Make sure it's there you go. There's what she looks like from the side, like a big old chocolate Oreo cookie. Flat on top. I will fill this in with a piping bag. Yeah, fill this in. I'll pretty this in, decorate it on the bottom so you won't see that. I know I can do that. Now when it comes to doing the roses on top, we'll see. Alright, I'm going to put this in the freezer, or at least in the fridge, and let it cool off. Feather and feather. Let it glue itself together, and I'll bring you back when I'm getting ready to put some frosting on this. Cake is really cooled down. I've had it in the fridge. Let's see if it's cool enough to take the scratch coat, as I like to call it. I don't know if that's really what the name is, when you first put your first layer on. Make sure you got plenty of frosting. A lot of people get nervous and they think, well, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough frosting. If you think like that, you're not going to have enough. So make sure you've got extra. You can freeze it. I'll put my recipe down for my frosting, my buttercream, chocolate buttercream, the milk chocolate buttercream. And I just bring it around the side. Alright, you got your piping bag full. You just put it in the groove here, the spot that needs fill, and just fill it. If you don't have a carousel, cakes carousel, or whatever they call these, you can just slide your plate around on the whatever you're working on, your surface. I used to do this for fast, used to, but I'm going to try to get her done though. I've not prettied up a cake in a long time. But it's a special birthday, so I'm going to try it. It will eat the same. It will taste great. I don't think it'll look like a hammered up cake. There's a word that they put by hammered something. I ain't gonna say, but anyway, just keep on filling it in as you go around. You can see it's pretty easy to do right there. If you're a welder, it's just like filling the gap using a welding rod, which I am, well, used to weld. I miss welding, matter of fact, but because I have a defibrillator, I was warned not to use it because it might set it off. Not to use a welder because it might set it off. I think we're about got her done here. If you got a little extra, it's no problem. You're gonna use it. And let's see here. So you take it. I like an offset spatula. Everybody uses something different, whatever they feel comfortable with. I just load it up on the end of it. Kind of start up here so it doesn't fall off. And I may come back and do another coat on here. Well, I know I'm going to come back and do another coat after this sets. There ain't no maybe to it. There is going to be another coat. But for right now, for this initial coat, and this is how I do it. I've never been to a cake decorating class. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's how I taught myself to do it. And I never had any complaints about how my cakes look, and I definitely never had any complaints on how they tasted. So once you get it to this point, you can just go back around here, and I'll end up having to make more frosting, no doubt about that. This cake carousel is invaluable to use. And yes, I'm getting a little bit on the plate down here. That is no problem. That's what they made paper towels for. I bet you didn't know that. Paper towels were invented to clean up mistakes off of cake pans. I almost had enough to get the outside done anyway. I just keep going around until it fills it in. Got a spot right here, right in here, more, and of course on the top needs more. Part of that on the top will be filled in though. Put another dollop right here. And I kind of tilt my spatula up so you can see it's filling in towards the top. Something really satisfying about this. It's just like anything else you do, I guess, like when I used to make knives. It's satisfying to get them done and anxious to let everybody enjoy the cake once it was finished. Anxious to see them pick up their knife and think, oh my God, look at this beautiful knife. So it's all about the reward of making something for someone. I may not have to make any frosting after all. It may be just enough. Right here is a little thin. Everywhere else is pretty good. Don't worry about the top. I got about a spot right here I need some. I think, just maybe. Wait a minute, I forgot about my frosting here. I got another couple of dollops here. Milk this out of here like milking a cow. Get my hands cleaned up. Oh yeah, we're gonna have enough. The outside of this cake will and the top also will be kind of a traditional old-fashioned swirly. I don't know what you call that, just kind of little peaks all over the place. Let's see here. It's pretty good right here. It's gonna make it, no doubt about it. I'm gonna bring it back up towards the top a little bit. You can see what happened. It's rising up above where it crests over. Let me get my hands washed. All right. Then you take it on the top and kind of swirl it towards the outside, like running a road grader. Clean off your spatula. Matter of fact, I'm going to clean this off under some hot water. Get some hot water here. All right. Let me get a spatula here and try to get all this buttercream in one area. Would help. Yeah, I know you. I'm paying more attention to what I'm doing than what I'm videoing. Start to say filming. You can tell I'm old. Yeah, I'm using a film camera. All right. So I've got my spatula in some super hot water. Hotter than I'm going to stick my hands in. I've got my towel with hot water to clean my hands. While this is hot, it will help melt this buttercream a little bit and help glide over the top of it. Put it back in your water. I'm going to take and so I'm going to do it like this. Kind of lean in at the top. My mother taught me how to do my first cake. I baked a red velvet, won first place with it in 4-H. I was 11 years old, and she kind of showed me how to decorate, and then I went from there and been playing with cakes and budding, putting on cars, filling holes in cars with Bondo and stuff ever since. So. Take and really smooth this top off right here on this crown. You're making an edge for the frosting to go in, where you can type it in. The piping will go right along the top here. There's two ways to do this. You can leave it swirled like this, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put lots of little peaks in it, and or if you wanted it really glass smooth across the round edge, a hot big flat knife, which I've got over here, it's a cake knife, lay it over the top around the edge. It'll smooth it out pretty quick. Put it in the fridge. About 30 minutes later, it'll be super smooth. You'll see no ridges or anything. I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm going to just do some swirls. I don't even know what this is called. Making peaks, I think. If anybody knows, y'all can tell me, because I sure don't know. That's I had one class, about an hour or so long, in caking. The rest of it's seat of the pants. I do know one thing, this cake recipe is so good. It's devil's food and milk chocolate together. And what a good combination. And it's got that little bit of coffee in it. Yeah. Don't you know? All right. Reload it with a little bit on the outside, not a lot. Just go all the way around doing this same technique. Just taking it and touching it. Arm's giving out on me here. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done this, boys and girls. I'm just pushing in and kind of lifting up. You can see it lift up the top edge. You can be creative like this. Got a little bit to clean up down here at the bottom, but a lot of that'll be covered up with the bottom layer of frosting. That's kind of what she's going to look like. Looks pretty edible to me. It ain't the prettiest cake I've ever done, but it's nice. All right, let's get the top decorations on it here. See if we can pretty up this edge right here. Get me another bag off here. You can use Ziploc bags. They're just not quite as strong. They'll tear easier. So I've got this holds the tip. Just trying to think, do I need a tip in here? Let me see what I'm going to use as far as. Got my little bag of trips, all the stuff. I modified some of these tips. Let's see, I don't know if I can see it. This is a 1mm Wilton. It's modified it. I've seen it's where it's smashed in. And this is a number 2D. That's what I'm going to use it for. Wish me luck, boys and girls. You can use that collar I was showing you a while ago, but I'm not going to put a collar in. I'm just going to put the tip in the bag. And go from there. I'm gonna start on the bottom. That way if I mess up, nobody will see it, hopefully. So you need to get the tip exposed. So I just come up about a 1/4 inch from the tip, back it back out, take my shears, kitchen scissors, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't need to be sharpened. And push it through. Pull it through, it'll lock in on you. See where it is. And I have old fat hands, so it's hard for me to load a big bag full of frosting. So I get a helper here. See if I can move this back here just a little bit. I'll show you how I do this. I get frosting everywhere when I do this. This is a helping hand that holds it while I load it up with frosting. All right, let's see here. See this? Just get you a spatula and go for it. Load it up. With my old shaky hands, I don't dare hold this and try to do that. So I learned a long time ago, not because it's just the piping bag, my hands were big, and so you have to learn how to do stuff. You can see this frosting's a little lighter color. I'll show you when I start popping it out than the other is. It's because I added enough powdered sugar to it because I wanted it sweeter. No, because I wanted it stiffer. Let me reposition everything and get you back around to the cake. All right.
I can go in and out.
Yeah, wife's asking if I'm videoing. Yes, you can say hello. I know you're not ready to be on film.
Hi there.
Here, come over this way and put your hand and wave at everybody. I had to someone said you need to do that so we know that I really have a wife and not imaginary wife.
I've been on there before.
I know, but maybe they think you maybe got killed off or something.
Oh, don't you think you'd have my funeral?
Well, if I was killing you off, probably not. Here.
Hi there.
You're not in. Your hand's not in there. You got to be right here. Here.
Oh,
Let me drag.
My old.
There you go.
Hi there.
Okay. So they know you're still alive and still kicking. I'm just the opposite. I don't have no makeup on, so I don't care. I'm just an old cowboy. I don't care. Take me as I am. She ain't like that. She was raised in the country, but she's a city girl. All right, so I'm gonna fill this in. I'm probably gonna have to make more. No doubt about it. You can see it just starts to squish out on the top side there a little bit. I'm gonna make little stars and set them around up here on the top. All right, so we can get it done. I just want some kind of cool looking ribbons coming out. Get a little faster here. I remember why I modified that other tip. This is kind of a closed tin. It does fine for what I'm doing. And I may change it to it on the bottom. I still got to try to make some roses to go on top. If I make those on a separate piece of paper and freeze them, if they work, fine. If they don't, I'll let you know. I'll show you as I'm going along. You can see why I left this little side right here, nothing in it. It's going to get covered up anyway. About the only time you can get me shut up is when I'm doing this. I have to think about how much pressure I'm doing. I mean, my fingers are numb, so I don't feel exactly the way it should, but that's okay. I think I can get her done, though. I think we're going to make the edge here. I think we got her. All right. Be like a model. Ooh, Vanna White. Open that window, Vanna. Let's see what's in there. What's behind door number 1? There's 3/4 done. Now to do this bottom. That'll be the easy part. I don't know if I've got enough frosting to do it. I may have to make some more. We'll see. All right, let's get this pastry bag, piping bag, whatever you want to call it, some more in there. So if I'm calling it wrong, I'm sorry. I can't remember. I've had them for so long, I can't remember what they call them. I want to say piping bags maybe, but I could be wrong. Get my hands clean here. See that extra hand here? Works good. Always turn them up when you're trying to get it all the air out. When you're trying to burp it like a baby. And just keep twisting until it comes out the top. You can see it right there. Yeah. You can take and cut this excess off. I got bigger hands, so it don't bother me. I just wipe my hands up in it. And it's got this little groove right here where the plastic, where it's welded all together. I try to keep that away from my cake. I don't want it using as a scraper. I changed the camera position, so. Oh yeah, this tip's much better. Don't get in a hurry. You can't see me over here, but you can see it as it's coming around. It's funny, I was 11 years old in 4-H baking cakes for 4-H and actually winning red velvet, and working on the farm with my dad. We were breaking wild Mustangs we were buying out of Mexico, and I was entering cake contests, and then I was riding bulls in junior rodeos. I think they call it an oxymoron. Well, the moron part anyway. Maybe I didn't know what direction I wanted to turn. But I did what I wanted to do, and I did it and never looked back. Sold lots of cakes in my lifetime. Maybe it's something I need to look into again, I don't know. My life is busy being retired and kind of handicapped and disabled, or whatever you want to call it. That's about just another couple of dollops here. All right. There she is. You can see it now. Not too bad for an old duder, an old codger. Gosh, about 9 days I'll be 72 years old. I didn't think I could ever do this again. All right. I've got a little bit left. Don't want to waste it, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill in the spot here on top. I don't have another chocolate cake to make, so come on, I think it'll be enough. I got some more in the container over here if I need it. I think it's going to make it, boys and girls. There it is. Now, I'm going to let it cool down in the fridge. Now I'm going to put it in the fridge to let it set up a little bit and practice doing some roses. I'll bring you back for that. All right, back with you. I'm going to try. I don't have a lot of confidence, but I'm going to try to make some roses out of buttercream. Used to be no problem. I could make 25 or 30 in just a few minutes, put them in the freezer, freeze them, and then put them in a bag, use them when I need them, but we'll see. So I've got my frosting set up here. They call this a nail. I guess you see why. So I take a little bit of frosting and put it on the nail. I've got butcher paper. It's slick on one side. I put the slick side on the side I'm going to do the rose on, or that I'm going to attempt to do the rose on. Let me get the camera down here. It may take several if I can even get it done. If I can't, you know, it's live. That cake will eat just fine without it. So it's gonna build up in the center. I want to start out. This is where I taught myself. It was on books a long time ago when I looked at it. So you just want to get a little bit in the center. And with my old shaky hands, I just don't know if I can do this or not. I may have to thin this buttercream down. I don't know. I may have it too thick. So this is a number, what is it? Number 104 Wilton tip. You see that? It's got a kind of little pointed like a center of a rose petal. And the fat end, this is wedge shape. So I'm going to put the fat end down at the bottom and just go around it one time. Come on, get off there. You can see it kind of looks like the center of a, and then I'm going to go around it again. So far, I need a wet towel here. I'm just going to go around a couple more times. Let me hold this up for a minute. Let me twist it a minute and get some more. All right, so I started here, ended here. I'm kind of overlapping each one as I start. And now I'm going to kind of open it up at the top. So far, so good. And see that? I mean, it ain't my best work. But I think it's starting to get there. Can you see that, boys and girls? This time, I'm going to take and not point it so much in, but kind of tilt it out. Hold on just a minute. Let me get something to set this. When I need to set it down, I got to have something to set it on. There, that'll work good. I got spaghetti noodles cooking in here for dinner. Let's see here. Well, I'm sure I'm slow at this. And I cut my bag here a little short. Keeps running out. I don't have any feeling in these fingers, so I can't tell that when I've got it all up in there, it's going to try to run out the back here. So I'm going to crimp it up tight as I can. I just like to have 3 or 4 roses. Not so much, it won't make the flavor of the cake any different. It's just a mind thing for me. I think it's looking pretty good though. I'll show you the last one I did. I did it for my daughter. It's a white cake with white roses on it. I got to redo this bag somehow. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. Is that what you call it, technical difficulties? I got to be able to hold on the bag while I'm doing this. Turn up my heat just a little bit on here. So far I can use this and it'll be okay. I've done better, but all right, there's one. And I'm just going to take the sticky side and put it down right here. Grab me another piece of paper. Maybe it won't take an hour for the next one. I'll speed through this on the video so y'all don't have to stand and see me struggle. Ride the struggle bus. Check my sketty over here. Give me another hold of it here. The center's not very good, but I think I can put enough juice around it, it'll be okay. I could give her a little baby rose. But that ain't my style to quit. How's that one? Boys and girls, I've cut this bag too short. I can't hold on to it with numb fingers. I mean, I am, but it ain't making it easy on me. A wet towel is your friend when you're doing this kind of work. Just to let you know. I just keep overlapping the one I started on, then do that one again. That's kind of lopsided. Need some more on this side. No wiggly fingers are taking over. Maybe a couple of more petals here. I don't know if it looks like a rose, but it looks like a flower anyway. I'm going to put these in the freezer when I'm done with them. That way tomorrow all I have to do is come along, get them out of the freezer bag. First I'll put them in the freezer and let them set for an hour, and then put them in a freezer bag. Come on. Straighten up there. Come on. Don't fall over on me. Let's see. That'll be okay. You see that? Sorry, I'm at it. How's that looking? Let me stir my spaghetti over here. How do y'all like your spaghetti cooked? Al dente? Or you want it cooked like I do? I want mine soft and cooked. I don't like al dente. It reminds me of non-cooked noodles. But what do y'all prefer? That's just the way I think my mother cooked them like that until they were really soft, and that's the way I like them. I know you're supposed to leave them kind of when you bite into them, it's got a little bit of call it toothy or whatever. But that ain't never been my favorite. Come on, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can grab this and put it between my fingers and lock it in like that. Come on, sit in the center here. They ain't the best I've ever. Come on. Don't do that to me. Don't pull off, take off with me. Get back in there. Maybe if I put enough ugly ducklings, she won't notice. Also going to try to do some leaves. Not green, but just out of the chocolate. I think if I get enough ugly ones in there, she won't notice. Well, that's my best center yet. Hey, if y'all know anybody that's got a disability or old like me, and don't tell them to give up. Keep on keeping on. Share this video with them. Maybe it'll be inspirational to one person or 10 people, or get them to share it. Because I'm telling you, it's all I can do to get these done today. but I'm not going to give up. That's a pretty one right there. We can leave that in small. Let me check on my pasta here. My noodles. Spaghettios. I can actually do two things at once, you know. Oh yeah. Fork here and taste it. They're good. They're ready. Just turn them off and let them sit there. Yeah, I can eat them just like that. Don't stick to my center there. I guess you see I'm getting cocky. I'm getting faster. Well, somewhat anyway. Yeah, it's much easier going this way. Why didn't y'all tell me I was going backwards? And boys and girls, if you ever decide to do this, let me get some more paper cut and I'll be right back. Alright, got my paper back. Got me some new pieces of freezer paper. I cut them a little smaller this time. I cut enough to do me some roses on, to do some leaves on. I got to find my tip. I got the tip out here, but I hadn't done that in a long time too. So I think I can remember how to do it though. I guess we'll test it out together and see how it turn out. All right, let's see here. I'll get a picture of all these together here. See all those? I'm just going to do a couple more because I need to save some of my juice for the leaves. That's a good. There's the final one, boys and girls. Now let's see if we can do some leaves. This is how I do it. You got the main sleeve that goes in. Got the collar, just like a pipe fitting. Take this one off. I think, if I remember right, this is the one that does leaves. I think. I'm thinking this is right. Put just a dollop on the back. Oh, I forgot. I got a burp if there ain't nothing in that one. Alright, let's see if we can get a leaf done here. I think this is how this is supposed to do. And get a hold of it. Oh yeah, there you go. Either looks like a leaf or a curly chocolate tongue. I'm going to call it a leaf and not a tongue. I'll have to get some more paper. You can see that. These will go in the freezer until they set. Won't take about 30 minutes. They're full of sugar, so. Once they set, I'll go in and peel them off this freezer paper, and they're okay. I'm getting better at it for sure. Leaves better than what I thought it was going to be. Anyway, you can peel them off the freezer paper real easy once they're frozen. And all right, let's see. Get some chocolate off my hands. Alright, there's my leaves. That's a pretty good one on the corner. Lay that down and put a rose on top of it. Look pretty cool. And here's my roses. And a couple of leaves. Okay, yeah. I did it. Some of them are good, like really good, and some of them not so really good, but maybe they'll just think, oh, these look good and good enough to eat, and yes, they are. So never give up. Keep on trying. 2 years ago, I came home in a wheelchair. I couldn't even hardly use my hands, and I've got essential trimmers in both hands now, so I'm sure you could see wiggly. You know, the wiggling ain't bad for like that leaf. You can see where it kind of waved out. Maybe it's got its disadvantages sometimes. All right, I'll bring you back when I put these on the cake. All right, boys and girls, we're going to put the roses on top of this cake. It's been an all-day affair. So let me get around the camera around so you can see what I'm doing here. I had a boo-boo right here. I was putting the lid on it and caught my arm up against it, but I kind of fixed it. So we're going to put a lot of roses over here to hide that. Let me see if I remember how to get these off. Oh yeah. There's one. There's Dose. Let's see if I can do it like this, maybe. I guess that one's going to go there since it fell off on there. I could tell you I planned it like that, but you know I'd be lying to you. I put a little one in between there, fill in the gap. So far, so good. Oh, there will be a leaf going between that. Yeah, there you go. I got that figured out. Lay right down in there. That's perfect. See, I planned that. If any of y'all out there have essential trimmers that are watching this, I hope that you're figured out a way to live through it, because there's no cure. They don't even know what causes them. They just know people have them. I found out by watching a video of a guy that has the shooting program.
And you did your roses. I knew you could.
Thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of myself that I got this done. And yes, my hands are clean. I'm touching these roses. I wash my hands so many times during the day. One more rose, one more leaf. I think that's all I've got left.
You're going to make a lady's day tomorrow.
I think so. Got a dozen chocolate roses.
Hey, beautiful.
It actually made my day to make them.
I'm so proud of you.
I ain't never been a quitter. Of course, that's why I'm in the shape I am.
No one can say that you are.
Broke and beat up and bruised and oh well. That's it, boys. Oh no, wait a minute. I got one over here. It's good. Hate not using them all. One left over here, two left over here. Let's see here. Where can I put this? It's the worst thing to work with is buttercream, trying to make frosting or icing or excuse me, making roses out of buttercream. It's the hardest thing you can do because it is so soft and it is so sticky. That's it, boys and girls. I'm gonna quit while the quitting's good. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I'll bring you around here for a closer shot here in a minute. All right, there she is. There's a dozen chocolate roses on a devil's food cake with milk chocolate frosting and milk chocolate roses. Even the little leaves are all milk chocolate. I hope she enjoys it. I know her great-grandsons are going to be over there. They definitely going to enjoy it. Do like a model here and spin it around. Hopefully don't drop it. I just had to get up early and make another one. That's the end, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for being here for all of my videos, and hit that subscription. If you're not subscribed, hit it and hit the notification button. I really appreciate it. It gives me the incentive to keep going. And you decorate cakes and tell me about yourself. Have you been to class? Yeah, I went to one class and quit. I am a quitter. I quit cake class. There was too many boys in there that were light in the britches. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought you might know what I mean. Nothing against that. Just think my Bill and Eddie don't belong together. So anyway, there she is, boys and girls. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Thanks for being here.